Okay, in this video we want to talk about raising I to different powers. We talked about this information we've talked about in previous slides, but I just wanted to give you an example of what happens here. I is the square root of -1. We've established that. I squared then is -1, and you've used that fact over and over again. Now if I do I to the third, I'm going to multiply -1 times I, which would give me -I. And then if you have -I times I, which would make I to the fourth, that would be actually negative, or the opposite of -1, which would be +1. Now if I want I to the fifth, I would multiply 1 times I. So actually what happens is we get a repetitive pattern here. The pattern will repeat again. Every fourth power of I, you repeat the pattern here. So if you know these first four basic rules, then you can actually find any power of I. For example, if I said calculate I to the 17th power. Well, since it repeats in patterns of 4, what you need to do is divide the exponent by 4. So if 17 is not divisible by 4, so 4 goes into 17 4 times with a remainder of 1. So whatever the remainder is, that will help you understand what power you're going to use here. So since I have a remainder of 1, I to the first, so this is just I. Okay, if I want, let's say I to the 24th power. I to the 24th. Well, 24 is divisible by 4. So with no remainder, we're going to use the fourth power. So I to the 24th would be 1. Look at this one. I to the 102 power. 4 would go into 102 evenly 25 times, but the remainder would be 2. So since the remainder is 2, I squared, it's -1. Let's do a couple more of those. I to the 53rd power. 53rd power. 4 will go into 53 how many times? Let's see here. 53 divided by 4. It goes 13 times with a remainder of 1. So since the remainder is 1, I to the first. So it's just going to be I. I to the 15th. 4 goes into 15 3 times with a remainder of 3. So since the remainder is 3, I cubed, -I would be my expression. So you work with the fact that the pattern works in fourths, every 4. So you divide the power by 4. Whatever your remainder is,